Hello, good evening. Welcome to Monday Night Paranormal Live with myself, Paul and Jenny from Host for Ghosts and Angela from South Coast Ghosts. There's no Luke tonight due to illness, and our guest speaker is also ill. So you've only got me and Angela. So this might be a short one tonight. So welcome. So if you have any comments, please put them on the screen or send them to Angela. She'll put them on the screen and we'll try and answer them, or any suggestions. So please come on. We're here. If it's a short one, it's a short one. We'll see how we go. So tonight we're going to talk about a podcast myself and Angela did last week,
Yeah,
Friday, and also on the subject of weather, how weather affects paranormal investigation, whether it's sunny, hot, cold, wet, snowy. What's your thoughts on the weather? Does it have an effect on the way the investigations go, the way the spirits communicate, that type of stuff? So if you have any comments, please send them in to us and we'll put them on the screen and we'll comment on them. So Friday night, was it? We went on a very special podcast.
Yep.
So do you want to tell them a bit about it, or?
It was a pizza party. So all the guests, there was 8 of us, 8 guests. We all had to have a pizza. That was part of the rule. If you didn't have a pizza, you didn't get in. And there were 8 different subjects, and we were all given a number beforehand, and then the numbers corresponded with a different topic. I don't know where these topics came from, because each one of them that came up, I was like, I've never heard of that. I don't know what that is. What's that? So I ended up probably saying about 3 words in the whole 2 hours, because I didn't know anything. But I did learn a lot, though.
Yeah.
Start off as like, I don't know anything about this, and I was like, oh, that's quite interesting. Oh, okay. So rather than saying anything, I actually learned stuff. Although there was a couple of topics nearer the end, I thought, oh, I know what I can say. And then we got gonged. I was like, oh, I can't say it now. But, yeah.
Because it was like 20 minutes a question, wasn't it?
It was,
a topic,
yeah.
I mean. And then they bang the gongs, so then you'd moved on to the next one. So there was a couple there I'd heard of but never really looked into. Like I was like, oh, right, okay. I'm glad I just didn't get my number called up on them.
Yeah, you got the perfect one, didn't you?
Oh, didn't I? I was so lucky. I got one on time slips.
Yeah.
So what with the story I've told you before about my friend and the pub. So I was lucky. I was a lucky one. I thought it was all fixed, I said, didn't I?
Yeah.
This is rigged. This is ending up right at the wrong. But no, we had a great night. It was great company. We met some new paranormal investigators from up the country and down the country and across the country and back again. And it's a real great characters.
They're all over the place, weren't they? Up in Scotland, down in Devon. And, all over the place.
Somerset and all sorts of places, wasn't it?
Yeah.
We talked a bit about the different subjects of green children and all sorts. Sorry, like, yes.
What? Never heard of them.
But someone knew, didn't they? Someone on the panel always sort of knew. There's a very vast wealth of knowledge on that panel that night. I thought, some real great people, great laugh, very funny, and some Somerset. Who was from Somerset? It was. Is it Lifting the Veil? Was it Angie Dent or something Dent? Was she from that way?
I can't remember now. I'll have to go back and look in the chat.
Yeah, we'll go back and have a look for you. She was very interested, very knowledgeable. Everybody on the panel was knowledgeable, even us. So we didn't look out of our depth.
I did.
No, you didn't. So we did well. There's some real interesting subjects. There was abductions, time slips. What was there? Loads of subjects. So it was really, really interesting. It was a broad range of subjects as well, not just UFOs, paranormal. It was just like a very broad range.
Yeah,
I think
well on that.
Yeah, alien abductions, wasn't there?
Yeah, I think so.
Things like that, and it was Sorry. Talking about aliens.
Green-eyed something or other.
Yeah.
Wasn't it? Green-eyed?
Green-eyed children. Green children or something, wasn't it?
Something about green children, yeah.
Yeah, they say they didn't know whether it was the vegetation that they ate or the tin in the ground or something, wasn't it? It turned them green.
Yeah, something like that. And they couldn't speak, they didn't have they didn't speak any language that was recognised, and they had to learn it. And it was just really strange.
Really interesting, though. I find that interesting. And some of the subjects you think, wow, never heard of that one before, or I'd sort of vaguely heard of it but didn't know anything about it, to be honest.
Yeah.
Oh, a tickle. So it was a great. I thought it was a very, very knowledgeable panel. Very, it was well chosen. Everybody sort of suited everybody, and even if you didn't know about the subject, somebody would say something about it to sort of give you a bit of a chance. I'm just gonna have a drink. I've got to.
Yeah, it's not like there was one bit where we all sort of sat in silence looking at each other.
If you get a chance, I don't know whether it will come out or it's on Catch Up or something. I'm not sure. It's on Alienate, Andy DeCote's site, so you might go onto his website and have a look. But it's an interesting panel. I thought it's a very well chosen panel.
Yeah.
So we did that. So that was quite good. Listening to people's strengths. There was a guy on there from Scotland was telling us about investigations into Scotland and UFOs, isn't he? And really, really interesting. Some people like I can't think of her name, but she was really interesting. Michelle.
Yeah, there was a Michelle.
She was really knowledgeable, wasn't she? Very, very knowledgeable. And their subjects were really good when they started to talk about it. You knew that was quite a passion for them, really.
Yeah.
So it was an interesting night. It was a good fun to do. About 2 and a bit hours, wasn't it?
Yeah, just over 2 hours.
Just over 2 hours. So it was good fun. I enjoyed it. Everybody was laughing, and it was a very relaxed and very good. And I think he's putting another one together for next month or this month or whatever. So keep your eye out for it. You'll see us on there, myself and Angela and the others. So it was good. It's a good range of topics to cover the whole lot. So it was interesting. So that was what we were doing, hanging out Friday night for 2 hours. So didn't know if we were going to get on because we're supposed to have a number and you sign on with a number. Then he left the numbers and you sign on with your name and then you sign on with it was fun. It was good fun.
Yeah.
I did.
Hello. He's talking about you.
Here he is, Andy. Hi, Andy. We were just talking about you and your pizza party, saying how good it was, how much we enjoyed it, and how knowledgeable the panel was that you chose to sit. It's really interesting, really, really interesting, and we thoroughly enjoyed it. So thank you for that. I can hear you. I can hear you as well, lol. Remember, I can connect with you. I know what you're thinking. We connect, mate, on your voice messages again. So we know what you're saying. Yeah, it was a very, very knowledgeable panel. I thought it was a great panel, actually, to be honest. Vast range of knowledge, experiences. And it was nice to meet people from there. So, Andy was hosting it, but we thoroughly enjoyed it. I know I did, to sit with other people, like-minded people. And it was funny. Some of the remarks were really funny. And the gong going and the countdown and, it was really good. It was a really good time. So if you get a chance, watch it on Catch Up or watch it live whenever, because I think you'll thoroughly enjoy it. It has some great guests on there, some great guests. And if you want to know anything, asked. And it's great subjects as well. I think Andy chose them. So well done you, mate, if you chose them. They're brilliant subjects. We were well chuffed with it. Angela was so pleased she got green children.
The green one?
Yeah. Where? When? And I still think the pizza was fixed when it ended up on time slips with myself. So we'll let that one go this time. Of all the subjects, it had to send up with me, didn't it? Anyway, so that was that Friday night pizza party. We had paranormal pizza party with, say, Andy DeCoates with Alien 8. So drop onto his website, have a look. very knowledgeable guy, knows his stuff, really interesting. And there's some great guests on there as well. So thank you for that, Andy. If you're still watching, we enjoyed it. And if you ever have a short space of time, you know where to call us. We'll come and help. Right, we're going to talk a bit about. Have you got anything else to add to that, Angela, or
No, I don't think so.
I waffle on? So we want to talk about the weather. Now, people are probably saying, weather? That's what you get on the BBC News. We're talking about how the weather can affect a paranormal investigation or any investigation. You know, can it affect the activity? Can it affect surroundings? Does it affect us? Do we go in there differently in different weather, expecting different things? So ping a message in if you're watching us. Hi, it's raining. Yeah, it's always blooming raining, isn't it? But do you think when you go on a paranormal investigation, whether it's raining, you go in there a bit more subdued because it is raining? So, you know, how much does the weather affect you on whether it's paranormal or any investigation? You know, if you're inside or outside, does it affect the way you look at things, the way you feel things, the way things happen, the way spirit interact? So send in your thoughts. What do you think, Angela?
I think as it'll affect you, and also like the energy to get the spirits like communicating everything. So if you've got like a really misty, then it's going to be sort of eerie anyway, and you're going to be like, "Ooh, this is spooky," and then I guess you're more likely to sort of listen out for things or look out for things because you've got more of an atmosphere there. So I think it would affect you in that way, especially when it's or where there's a thunderstorm, and you know, like it starts with it was a dark and stormy night, that kind of thing. So
Yeah.
kind of, oh, this is good.
Do you think it makes it harder for spirit to communicate if the weather's bad? Like, well, they'll always say the moon and the rain can affect energies. Yeah, I mean, they do say like moon cycles, don't they? It can affect how things happen. And my question to you is, do you think if it's raining, it's overcast or it's cold, do you think that affects the way they communicate with us as well? It makes it harder because I think during the winter we have like a seasonal disorder, don't we, where people get a bit depressed in the winter because you get up in the dark, go home in the dark, and if you're going out on an investigation and you got that little bit down because it's dark, and we all go, you know, into a paranormal investigation, we love it going in the summer because it's daylight, it's warm, and your energy's bubbling, isn't it? But when you go in the winter, you think, oh, I've got to go outside in the rain, and are we really going to do the investigation outside? So your energy drops. Do you think that really has an effect on how spirit communicate with you?
I think it could do, but then at the same time, I think with the bad weather, especially like electrical storms and thunder and lightning, that it's the atmosphere is more charged, isn't it? So you've got more sort of energy in the atmosphere for them to draw on.
Yeah, they do say that in a storm, don't they?
Yeah.
I always find rain seems to boost the energy levels of the spirits. And why do you think that is? Why do you think rain boosts their energy? So if you just pop a comment back so we can have a look, that'd be interesting to see why you think the rain does. Would you think the thunderstorm and all the static energy that's built up in the atmosphere would make spirit much stronger in communication with the way they do, you know, just before a storm? And most spooky stories, like Angela said, start with on a stormy, rainy night. But I don't know if you come back with the answer, you know, why you think the rain creates more energy. I'd be interested to know what you feel. I know storms create because of the energy charge in the atmosphere and things like that. Spirit obviously use that as a source of energy to communicate. Instead of batteries, they use the energy of the atmosphere. I mean,
it's like when it's humid, like high humidity, can increase the conductivity of the air. I read earlier.
Ooh, yeah.
Yeah. I did a bit of research, so I had something to say.
That's coming on. That pizza party's done that.
I like to find things out.
Yeah, it's interesting, isn't it? When you really think, oh, I didn't know that. Oh, fancy that. You know,
Yeah.
and it's quite interesting, really, when you start doing. It's like, we talk all week. What we're going to talk about next week. What subject? Unfortunately, Andrew's very good at finding subjects, and this subject we're talking about tonight is Luke's idea. But as you can see, Luke's not here. He's just not sat still. He's just not here. So this was Luke's idea. So obviously, myself and Angela, we talk amongst each other. We try and get guest speakers. So I'm going to try and coax a lady to come on and talk about haunted dolls next Monday if I can. So we're going to have a bit of a trial. He's very anxious. So a lovely lady. So we're going to try and talk her into coming on, talking about her haunted dolls, and she has some great activity with them. Really, real good activity. So be interesting to get her on.
Yeah.
The energy can be drawn from the atmosphere with ions, etc.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because they charge them up, don't they? When you get a bolt of lightning, does that not charge the ions?
Yeah.
Yeah, I suppose it must do, mustn't it? Because you get a bolt of lightning, it's a massive bolt of energy, isn't it?
Yeah.
So that must charge the atmosphere as it bolts through. So water holds incredible energy, especially flowing water. Yeah. Consistent flow creates constant change, and still water will hold energy for about 24 hours. Well, that's interesting. Yeah, they say that spirit use water, don't they, to move about. So, like you say, in the rain coming down, maybe it is the same thing. The rain coming down and the charged atmosphere gives them enough to communicate quite clearly. So, you think they communicate more clearly on a thunderstorm and a rainy night? What about on a humid night where it's been hot all day and it's extremely humid, like Angela was saying? Do you think? And we're sort of supercharged, aren't we? Because we get a bit of sunshine and we're very happy, aren't we? There's that vitamin B or D rush, isn't it? And everybody's happy, aren't they? So do you think that sort of changes the energy as well? Because we're going in with a different energy during the summer than we are during the winter. What do you think?
Yeah, I guess when it's the summer, we're all more of a high energy, aren't we? Because we're all kind of like all warm, and it makes you move around sort of easier.
Yeah.
And you're all kind of, but then it's a different atmosphere when it's in the winter, when it's dark and cold, because then it's more eerie. So you've still got the energy, but it's different type of energy, isn't it?
Yeah.
And it's more of a. Ooh.
Because also, I suppose, if the nights are lighter longer, you have your sight for investigation for longer.
Yeah.
So, and in the winter, it gets darker earlier. So, on an investigation, you lose your sight a lot earlier in the investigation in the dark. So that maybe that makes a difference in the summer because you can see a lot longer. The nights don't draw into about 10 o'clock or whatever. And normally you've been going a couple of hours by 10 o'clock in the evening. So your eyes have got accustomed to the dark. In the summer, it just takes a little bit longer to get. I think during the summer, it takes a little bit longer to get that connection because it is daylight longer. You're less sensitive to the energy. What do you think?
Yeah, because you sort of go around, you're like, oh, I wish it would get dark soon. I want it to get dark. Otherwise, you're sort of using your sight more than like your hearing and other senses, sort of relying on that more. And we don't tend to see things as much as we do hear things or feel them, do we?
Yeah. I suppose, like you say, you tend to shut down. Have you ever done an investigation around a water well and the energy around there is so amazing? I don't think I've ever done one around a water well, to be honest. I've done one near a river, but I wouldn't say I often wonder whether in some of the castles they have water flowing under the castle. What was that one? Oh, we did do one. We did the silk mill.
Oh,
do you remember the silk mill? Because they had actually running water through the bottom of the building, didn't it?
Yeah.
Because it was a museum, but they did have running water through it, didn't it?
Yeah, it did. It sort of went well, it went behind the building as well, didn't it?
That's right. Yeah.
Because we had the tapping on the window.
That's
And
right.
we thought maybe there was someone around there, but there couldn't have been anyone there because of the water and the trees.
Yeah, because that was at the Bombay Sapphire, wasn't it?
Oh yeah, that's.
Do you remember
Yeah,
when we had the tapping?
yeah. I haven't been to the silk mill, so it's yeah. That's what I was thinking of.
Did you not go with Darren that time when we all went there?
I don't think I went to that one.
I thought you were there. The silk mill in where was it now? Field, somewhere like that. I don't know. Petersfield. I'm not sure where it was.
I
But
don't
that,
know.
like Angela said, we went to the Bombay Sapphire, and that had, like said, that had water outside. That's true. And we actually had a clear, like someone tapping on the window when we were standing in the room, didn't we? And
Yeah,
yet it was, stood above the water. So that water energy, yeah, that's a really, really good shout, you know. And the silk mill we went to, the water was actually, you could hear it running underneath the building and actually see it. If you went down low enough down to like the basement, you could actually see the water running through the basement, if you like. And that's where we caught, when we had the cat ball bounce down the stairs
oh yeah,
and moved across the room on its own, because we
yeah.
hung like a what's it called? Oh, I can't remember. Like a coat they used to wear in them days. We hung
Oh,
it by the door to prove there was no wind,
oh yeah.
and then we had to sit the cat ball roll down the stairs, and it literally, I forget where the video is. I'll try and see if I've got a video of it, and it actually rolls down the stairs and then takes a different direction on
Yeah, I
its
remember
own.
that.
Yeah, so I'll try and find that and send it to Angela. I think it also has an effect on your mental energy when weather is bad opposed to bad weather. So the energy that you're putting out is different. Yeah, I totally agree with that. Like you say, in the winter months, we tend to be a little bit not depressed, but a little bit fed up. Oh, I wish it was warmer. Oh, I wish it was hotter. I wish the days running
Yeah.
water produces high energy. Yeah, and spirits use that to move around. Thanks, Andy. So you know, and then when it gets to the summer, you think, oh, it's too hot. And Andy's put the well inside Shepton Mallet has a well, and when they lift the lid, you can feel a burst of energy as it opens. Oh, wow. I didn't know they had a well there.
Oh,
Ah, what do we know, eh?
yeah. I'll find out in a couple of weeks.
Yeah, that'd be interesting. Find that. And different types of water, fresh water, salt water, and stagnant water.
Yeah.
Yeah, I suppose, would salt carry a lot more energy in the salt water? Is that what they mean by, salt water? Is stagnant water, I mean, obviously it's got bad smell or bad energy about it because it is a bad thing. But fresh running water, definitely alien running water does indeed hold high energy. But alien, yeah, sorry. A very good point. Different types of create different energies. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, different people create different energies on an investigation. We don't all be on the same wavelength. So why would the building or the running water be on the same? Every investigation, like we say, is different because you go with different people, different energy. Just all round different. So every
Yeah.
time you go out, it's something different, isn't it? And like you learn something different. Every day is a school day on an investigation, as we all know. No two investigations are ever the same.
No.
So, I don't know whether anybody's like done a Saturday and a Sunday investigation and they got the same thing on a Saturday as they have on the Sunday. That'd be interesting if anybody's had that, or whether Saturday was completely different energy to Sunday.
Yeah.
That if anybody's done that out there that's watching this, message in if you've done a Saturday and Sunday investigation, and was there different evidence on a Saturday than there was on the Sunday, or vice versa. You could do it in the midweek. Some people do investigations in the midweek,
Yeah.
and I often wonder whether you get the same energy through or it's different. Is that because we're different, because we're more tired on the Sunday, or I'm not sure. I've never done one myself, so I don't know how you tell, but obviously, like Andy and the others are saying, different water brings different energies, and I think, and it's the same as us. Different people bring different energies. Some people are really open to the paranormal world. Some people are not. What do you think, Angela?
Well, I was just thinking about with water, because if you have, say, like crystals, you use like flowing water to cleanse them and charge them. You don't just sort of like wash them in a like a bath of water or in a stagnant. It has to be like flowing water. Like,
And is that wash the energy?
Yeah, it's supposed to cleanse all the energy and then
Okay.
charge them up. I remember having them in a little bag, and I went down by the shore and like put them in the waves on the beach. So it was
right.
And that was really nice. Oh, we've got Graham as well.
Hi, Graham. Hi, folks. Nice to see you once again. Sounds interesting, though I got no answers apart from I've never really thought about it. Could go up to the castle tomorrow when it's raining and see if it's any different. The dog certainly won't like that, for sure. That'd be interesting, Graham, because I know you go up there and obviously in the dry weather with the dog. So if you do feel brave, go up there in the rain and see whether you actually get a different energy or a different reply, because Graham gets some really, really good EVPs from Luggershaw Castle where he goes for the walk with the dog. So it'd be interesting to see if you go up there in the rain and the dark, slightly dark, whether it be overcast, whether you get the same response or whether it's less response or more response. Like someone saying the rain could heightens the energy. So you could well be, Graham, that you get a higher response back. So that would be interesting. If you could try that, let us know how you get on with that.
Yeah, maybe we don't really know, because when it's raining, we all shelter inside, don't we?
We go and hide.
Yeah.
We go and hide. I suppose if you're inside a building, you're very loud. Hi, Dora. Hello, everyone. I'm a bit late. I've been swimming just as you're talking about water. Wonder how many spirits were swimming with me tonight. Was it packed in there then? Was there nowhere to swim? So I should have told them, get out. This is my lesson, not yours. So it does make you wonder, because when we go inside a building, it's raining outside, we don't really take a lot of notice of the outside energy, do we?
No.
And it's also on investigations, we all head inside, don't we? I've got to get in the building, that's haunted.
Yeah.
What about outside?
Yeah.
Things happened outside.
Sometimes we start off outside, especially if it's still a light evening. So we're sort of walking around the grounds and taking photos. Then as soon as it gets dark, we all go inside.
Yeah.
Why don't we stay outside?
Stay out, yeah.
In the summer, I go inside because I don't want to get bitten by all the flying things.
Well, that's a fair excuse. I like that one. I might use that one because of my shiny head. But I think we're all too keen to rush into a haunted place. Obviously, the grounds around the building. If there's a castle, there's been battles around the building. Men have lost their life outside in the moat, fighting to get across the bridge. But yet we go rushing in because it's haunted house or haunted building or haunted castle, whatever it may be. But we forget about the outside. I wonder how much activity you do get outside. That's a better activity than you do get in the building. I prefer to investigate outside rather than there you go. See, Andy does it outside. So, Andy, do you get a lot more energy outside than you would if you went inside? Do you think that's why you do the outside? I know a lot of your stuff is to do with the outside, but do you think you get more evidence outside than you do inside? If you'll send us a comment. I mean, I'm just as guilty. I go rushing into a building. Yeah, EVP's in here, do this and do that. And then suddenly you think, well, actually, the battle took place outside. So I'm actually inside, and it's that old cliche, isn't it? Get in there because it's haunted before everybody else does. But I reckon if everybody went inside and you stayed outside, I think you'd get some great evidence.
Yeah, I think that's why I like doing places like forest, because you haven't got an inside to go to, and like if it's raining, it does make it feel a bit more eerie. Then the problem with outside is all the extra sound you can get, and so you don't know what you're actually picking up sometimes.
Yeah, it's difficult, isn't it, to separate it? Because if it's raining, you get the rains on the leaves. Shepton Mullet is definitely a
Inside
oh,
job.
my glasses. Shepton Mullet is definitely inside job, lol. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. But I've stood outside on the execution wall and got EVPs from there.
Ah.
I did it with my last time we went. I think Luke was with me and a few others, and we went to the wall because they hadn't been to the wall, the execution wall. And I tried a few EVPs there, and we had a couple of voices in the EVP against the wall because it's a trauma. It's someone's life taken, isn't it? It's an
Yeah.
execution wall, So outside, and I sort of lose that because I should stay outside.
Mm.
Do what you can outside for as long as you can. And if it
Yeah.
goes quiet outside, I very rarely get anything inside unless it's a place I've lived in or have stayed in for a few days. See, that's interesting, isn't it? So you get more outside and yet everybody rushes inside.
Mm.
So it may pay on the next investigation you go on, Angela or myself or whoever is watching. Stay outside for as
Depends
long as you can.
Depends how cold it is.
Wrap up.
I do wrap up. If I'm stood still, my feet go cold and I can't feel my toes.
Oh.
My circulation is rubbish.
Yeah, I know. I can go with that. Being a motorcyclist, I can go with that one. But I'm going to try that next time I go out. Is try and stay outside as long as I possibly can. I captured a man singing at Shepton in the execution yard on the recorder. See, again, another good response outside. Because it would have been high energy outside because you had all them men mixing or soldiers and, all from all of the years that it was open. So there's just as much energy in the courtyard or the exercise yard, whatever, or even the water mill where they were made to walk around the mill.
Yeah.
So much high energy because they're working for all day, 12 hours or wherever long they were walking the mill. So you're moving water, high energy. So the energy of the spirits in the water and the energy of the men working the wheel, maybe they spill out into the outside, So
Yeah.
I feel restricted indoors. Yeah, I mean, some venues you go to and you think, oh, it's a little bit tight or it's a little bit, or there's too many people or, you're not getting the time to really sort of settle down because obviously, like we all know, when you do voice recordings, you need it to be as quiet as possible, nobody moving, nobody shuffling, because on the voice recorder, it shows up as always at a movement, or, the funny part, somebody's tummy goes, doesn't it? And they say, oh, sorry, that was me. Everybody goes, do you hear that? No, that was me.
Yeah.
So sometimes outside it'll be difficult recording because, like you say, the wind, the noise of the wind through the mics, the rain maybe on the trees. If you're in a forest, you hear the rain coming down. But I'm sure you would get a positive response. You would actually hear it,
Yeah.
So I wonder how many investigators, other than Andy, the courtyard at Shepton Market is where the court-martialed deserted soldiers and the rapists. Yeah. See, that's all outside, and we had voices. Myself, Luke. I forget who's with me. Lynn might have been Lynn. A couple of others that had never been to Shepton Mullet before. I said, "Well, why don't we go to the execution wall and see what we get there?" And he said, "Well, we didn't know there was one." And it's sort of as you come in the gate, and it's sort of along, sort of to your left-hand side beyond the security gate. And yet we did get responses on the voice recorder there. Though it's a quiet night, it's a warm night, if I remember rightly. But we got some good responses back there. So there you go, everybody. If you're outside, stick outside for as long as you can, along with the weather permitting. Because I think, once again, outside your senses are heightened anyway, aren't they? Because you're not in a safe environment. You're out in the open on your own. So that probably adds to your senses and the energy that you're producing because you are outside and you are on your own. Maybe the other group's gone off, and noises and taps and things like I suppose if you're in a forest or a tree like Rendlesham, it's very noisy at night because you have animals moving about and and then
Yeah.
you're not sure the crackling of the branches, is that animals or is that someone walking?
Yeah.
So, you know, your energy suddenly heightens, doesn't it? Because you're more alert to that energy. And like
Yeah.
Andy would tell you when he'd been to Rendlesham, you know, and you've been there, Angela, haven't you?
Yeah.
It's quite an odd place, isn't it? Really?
Yeah. But we were only there during the day. We weren't there at night, so I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, I only went sort of early evening with my sister and that,
Hmm.
and it was quite eerie, but I wouldn't say it was scary. But I
No.
imagine in the dark it would
Oh yeah.
take a different, especially if you're walking through in the dark and you know, and you lose track of which way you're going. And it's
Yeah.
probably the same as Epping Forest.
Mm.
You know,
Yeah. Like you can follow the lights back, is it?
yeah,
You
yeah,
can have a torch, but then all the trees look the same in the dark.
yeah. The paths all look the same, so it'd be quite easy to go running off after something in the trees or a noise. Quick, quick over here. You know, leave the path and then think, actually, where's the path? Where actually are we? And then the panic starts to set in, doesn't it? It's like if you were to do that, you know, you'd leave fluorescent tubes on the ground.
Yeah.
You know, them snap tubes you can get. You just drop them, so at least or tie things around trees, give you
Yeah.
an indication. I mean, not that it's a safe thing to do, go in a forest at night anyway. You know, especially some of the forests we have here. You never know who's lurking lurking in them at night. But I know
Mm.
Epping Forest, you know, people do hear horses and coaches coming
Oh yeah.
when they're walking dogs. Yeah,
Hmm. I do. I suppose I do quite a few venues outside when I go on my own, but then it's always in the daytime because I am on my own, and I
yeah.
don't want to be those sort of
Well,
places
it's
in the
safe.
dark.
Yeah, it's about being safe, isn't it? I
Yeah.
also find that I don't feel anything indoors, then it's a waste of time. Outside, you have so much more, and I think that's true, Andy. I think a lot of people forget that. If I'm indoors and I feel the energy straight away, I'll stay indoors. Yeah, I think you know. I think we're all guilty of it. Like I say, we all go rushing indoors because it's a haunted fort building, castle, you know, what schoolroom, wherever. We all go rushing in looking for the energy. When
Yeah.
if in fact if we stood outside, I love Rendlesham. Yeah, I've never been there in the dark, been day and night. What's it like at night, mate? Had more stuff happen during the day than the night, and it just shows you, doesn't it? You know, a lot of people ask you the question, you know, do spirits just come out at night? You know, I've had so many people ask me that, you know, and as far as I know, they're around just 365 days of the year, 24 hours a day.
Yeah.
You know, they don't go to bed to go to sleep, or not as far as I know. So, you know, they're around you, and people ask you that, oh, do they come and go in the daylight and they go quiet at night, or they
Mm.
quiet during the night and active during the daylight?
Yeah.
So they're just around you. They're just all around you. Excellent broadcast tonight. Thank you. Thank you for that. It's an interesting subject. Shame Luke's not in here. It would be nice to get his thing. Most locations you go to, I generally get a feel of it's going to be active inside or out.
Mm.
I think we miss that because we're so
Yeah.
intent on going in. We don't actually stand there, Andy, and sort of feel our energy and think, do you know what? I'm going to stay outside because I
Mm.
feel there's something here and not, you know. And we tend to be. I suppose sometimes you're like sheep, aren't you?
Yeah.
Because somebody says, "Oh, this is a really haunted room," and everybody goes to that room. But when sometimes maybe we should take a step back, let them all go into the room and stay outside and say, "Do you know what?" Because I remember going to Fort Widley, the last one we did, and I
Hmm.
was standing outside with a lady called Sarah and her partner, Sarah. I can't think of her second name now. Rapson.
Oh yeah.
And we were standing outside, chatting away like we were, and we were actually outside the room. People were having a cup of tea. People were down the tunnels, and I don't know whether Sarah. I know sometimes she comes on here when she's got time, but we actually heard like keys rattling and the gate changing, making a noise. When we were standing there, and we've all looked at each other and went, "Is anybody rattling the keys in their pocket?" And we're
Yeah.
like, "Well, no, we got those keys. All we got is our phones or your bit of your equipment." and we actually heard keys rattling, like someone was rattling the key to open a gate. And that, I just remembered that, and that was standing outside.
Yeah.
And we walked to the gate where the rattling noise was. Like it was like someone was pulling on the gate trying to undo it. That type of noise. Although I think it should have been open that night when we was there, and due to a bit of a misunderstanding, it was closed. But it was that gate that should have been open, allowed you to go down the further tunnels. But it was like someone was rattling the gate to try and unlock it. It sounded like keys. If Sarah comes on or wherever, she'll bear you up.
Yeah.
Maybe sometimes at night doors, but we get less activity because they are aware of our energy throughout the day. Where worn out from our.
She means
I think worn out. Yeah.
Day, yeah.
And it does, because we all do. We have a job during the day and we're working 8-9 hours. And then you're rushing off to a paranormal investigation, whether it be a Saturday, a Sunday, a weekday. You might do one in an evening. So your energy's a little bit low because you've had a hard day at work or a stressful day. Stress comes into it as well, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Spirit must pick up on our energy. We think, oh, yeah, I'm all right. And you find that in an investigation, don't you? If you're doing an all-night one to the following morning, in the early hours, 3-4 o'clock, when your energy's really taking a dive because you're tired, worn out, then the activity goes quiet.
Yeah.
Because I think you're just running out of energy, aren't you?
Yeah, they've got nothing to take from then because they've drained all the batteries by then as well. So
and they've drained you after 6-7 hours.
Yeah.
They've drained you. How many people go home and say, "Oh, got such a thumping headache," or you feel so tired where you've just had your energy drawn from you when you're trying to do an investigation, and you do feel that lull moment.
Yeah.
When you're in an investigation, even 3 or 4 hours into it.
Yeah.
You think, well, I'll go back and get a cup of tea. So I think I need to recharge.
Oh, yeah, I'm usually there about 2 hours before. I'm like, I need some biscuits.
And that and then once you do that, you go back out again and off you go again, don't you?
Yeah.
So it's always about keeping your energy above.
Yeah.
Grounds, but I can vouch for the fact that they are there as much in the daytime as my best catchers have been during the mid-morning mainly. If you ask them and they are there, they'll communicate with you. I don't think time is an issue in the spirit world or distance. No, I agree with that. How many times, if you're at home and something happens, do you ask out, are you there? Is it you? We don't, do we? Just say, oh, okay, and carry on. But what says spirit don't have active days in their dimension, stroke world, and are just as tired as we are? That's very true, because I often wonder, when you go to a venue, do they get absolutely fed up with the same questions? Are you here? Can you tap? Can you do this? Can you show yourself? Can you do this? Can you imagine every weekend someone doing that to you? Not mainly during the week, but weekends, asking you the same repetitive question. So I think sometimes they must think, oh, here we go again. Same question. And they don't bother to answer. And you don't get activity.
Yeah. It's like those funny memes you see when it has like ghost protesting, said, my name is Dave. Yes, I'm here, and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
I think if I was a spirit and they were like, every weekend you get the people asking the same questions, but oh, for goodness sake.
Well, you listen. I'm trying to tell you.
Yeah.
And I think some of these venues, they get so overdone that you get no activity, or you have a quiet night because spirit think, oh, here we go again. Is there anybody there? Can you tap on?
See that?
Yeah.
That kind of thing.
No, pray, no EVPs.
Yeah.
Yeah. They probably do, don't they? Without us knowing, they're standing going, oh, here we go. Can you talk into this red light? Can you tell us your name?
Yeah.
If I was a spirit and had these mainstream groups, they're week after week, I'd be telling the bugger off. Oh, yeah, you would, wouldn't you? You think, oh, here we go again.
Yeah.
Another group, same questions. Just
Yeah.
go away and leave me alone. Ask me something different. And
That's
I'll have
why
to
people
chuckle.
maybe that's why people get haunted, because they don't go out in too many investigations, asking too many questions, so then they get it back.
Yeah, they come after you.
Yeah.
Right, I'll show you what a haunting's like.
Yeah.
Blah.
You keep coming to my house, I'm coming to yours.
And when I ask questions, I try and vary it a bit. Do you know what year it is? Do you know
Yeah.
where we are? What did you do here? Try and vary, because, like I say, what's your name? Can you tap twice for yes, once for no? Can you talk into it? Can you move this? Can you roll the cat ball? Can you,
Yeah.
and some of us to do in your everyday job, you say, for God's sake, shut up. But
Yeah.
you give it a break. And you often wonder if spirits do the same thing. That's what the voice of the Jamaica Inn said. Here we go again. before before we started asking out.
I like that.
And that would sum it up, wouldn't it? Here we go again. And that was sort of funny thing. And I think they probably have a sense of humour as well, a bit like us. Here we go again. Same questions. Got to go,
Thank
guys.
you.
Great stream. See you both soon. Thanks, Andy. Take
Thank
care,
you.
buddy. And really enjoyed Friday. Thank you for that invite. It was a great night. So, and it's yeah, I think sometimes we can be repetitive with our questions and they get a bit fed up with it. Adora put, if I was a spirit, I would tie all of them shoelaces and make them run. Yeah, watch them all fall over. I
Yeah.
think Dora, if you was to scare them, I think they'd fall over anyway because someone would be trying to get past someone else.
Yeah.
And I always say that, if we're in an investigation, I'm always the one that's got to run first because everybody can run quicker than me. So they're liable to get you before they get me. So if I run past you, then you got to run. But don't run before I get past you. Because you never know. You may well have to run. I've
Yeah.
jumped off a bed and run round a bed before, and the door slammed and things like that.
Yeah.
And it's the unknown, isn't it? But it's what we love about it. One investigation, it could be funny and energy and really funny responses. Other times it can be a bit slow. And is
Yeah.
it slow because it's a repetitive question, or it's another weekend or another weeknight, people coming back. Is there anybody there? I wonder a bit about the Ram Inn. It's used so many times. And I wonder the spirits there ever get fed up with it. That's what I often wonder. I think we would, wouldn't we?
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
definitely.
If somebody's asking you the same question day in, day out, you think, oh, give it a rest, break it up, give me a different thing. So, going back to the weather, by the comments that were coming on tonight, the weather has quite a big effect on an investigation, whether it's UFOs, cryptids, like Angela was saying in the forest, to a paranormal investigation, to any investigation. I suppose the weather plays a major part
Yeah.
in the energy surrounding you and what you're doing, and also a major part in yourself, when
Yeah.
you go in.
Also, like the phases of the moon and any solar activity as well. Like solar flares can like increase all the electromagnetic stuff, and the moon affects the gravity and something else. I can't remember what I read earlier, but yeah, they all have different effects. It affects like the atmosphere, but it affects you as well because we're all energy as well. So it's gonna affect anything, really, isn't it?
It's like when, and then sometimes hear Jen say, where they say Mercury's in retrograde.
I have no idea what that means.
Jen, what does Mercury in retrograde mean? Is that communication? It means that there's difficulty in communication.
Oh, okay.
But I've heard Jen say this before about everybody's having a bit of trouble trying to get a message through, or you can't get hold of someone and say,
Oh.
oh, Mercury must be in retrograde, meaning it's difficult in the communication to someone. So, again, like Angela was saying earlier, it's moon phases, gravitational pull, the tide, the water moving. So, moon phases do affect. It's like summer solstice, isn't it? You have the longest day, and that, how much does that affect the energy, the longest day? But it's not on, if I'm right, what I've read is the longest day is not the 21st, it's the 20th, isn't it?
It's usually the 21st, but sometimes it's the 20th. But I don't understand why.
No, I can't. I thought that's why I was a bit hesitant in saying that, because I wasn't sure mainly whether it's the 21st or it's the 20th. Is that due to a moon cycle? Is that due to a summer,
I don't know if
cycle?
it's a leap year or what, but I don't know.
I don't know. And I've often people say, "Oh no, it's not summer solstice. That's the 20th." Not the but I thought it was the 21st. No, it's on the 20th this year.
Yeah.
So I don't actually know the answer. If anybody's watching and knows the answer, then I don't actually know why it changed. I know leap years change. Obviously, people's birthday have every 4 years then, don't they?
Yeah.
That ain't bad though, is it? 4 years, you only have one birthday. I can go with that. Makes you feel younger.
Older, when you're a little kid.
Yeah, when you're our age, you don't mind the birthdays going slower. Because you're 2017 like Angela is recently.
17.
I was 3017, blimey. So, yeah, it's an interesting subject. Shame Luke's not in here to get his thoughts on it. But it's a very interesting subject about weather conditions, moon cycles, moon phases, even us, how we're feeling when we go out. Should you go out if you're feeling a little bit fed up, a little bit low? My wife wanted to be married on a leap year. Charming, lad. Well, at least you don't have to buy a present for every 4 years. Don't forget the anniversary in 3 years' time. You can't get away with a yearly one, can you? So it also, like we say, like Andy was saying, your mental can affect your investigation as well, whether you're really up for it or I just went along because the wife didn't want to drive on her own.
Yeah.
So you're already on that bit of a downslope, and like you say, we're all made of energy. Spirits see that and they must think, well, you know what? If there's not much energy coming from them two, I'll go somewhere else. And then you get, oh, well, we didn't get much activity tonight, and also probably body language, isn't it?
Yeah.
The way you carry yourself into the investigation, and we go with the intent to hear, see, feel, be touched or something. If you think, oh, well, I'm a bit tired, have a hard day at work or a long day at work, I think you're already down. You're heading down. Your energy's already dropped.
Yeah.
Spirit have to drop their energy and you raise your energy to get that connection where you can, communicate with them. And if your energy's down, they can only put their energy so far down to connect.
Yeah, you have to raise yours and they have to lower theirs and sort of meet.
Yeah, and that's where you get your spiritual connection, isn't it?
Yeah.
So if you're a little bit further away than they can get, then it probably would be a quiet night.
Yeah. And also it helps if you talk, because hearing your voice and like the vibration from your voice and everything, then they sort of know there's someone there and they pick up on that as well. And I'm very guilty of not saying hardly anything. So I need to do that a bit more. I think I just feel like, even though everyone does it and they talk out loud, I don't know why I feel silly when I do it. Probably because I'm always stumbling over my words. So they are listening. What's she talking about?
But it doesn't matter, does it? Whether, you ask the question quickly, slowly, how the question comes over. Because I always say to people, when, especially we get new people on an investigation, they say, oh, I feel silly, calling out. But there's no silly questions. There's no, nothing silly about it. You're asking a question. Sometimes people ask a question, sometimes you need yes or no answers.
Yeah.
Rather than trying to get a phrase out of them. What's the weather like on the other side? That type of question, you think, well, that is quite silly, really. And you sort of have to say, don't you, it's got to be a yes or no answer, because it's easier for them to communicate yes or no than trying to bring a phrase over.
Yeah.
So, like you say, sometimes you stand there and think, well, what can I ask you? But spirit already know what you're going to ask before you've asked it. They already know, and you think, well, that just tapped and I haven't even asked the question yet. Because, and we've had it before in like a human pendulum before, where the person in the middle is actually still moving, and you say, okay, somebody round the circle has got a question. Please
Yeah.
ask your question. And it's going, yes. And you think, what's it? What are they asking? Please, people don't say anything, especially when you get quite new investigators, they're all sort of, oh no, I better not say anything.
Yeah.
If anybody around the circle being pushed, touched, whatever, no, that's right, like that. No, I'm not swaying. And yet people ask questions in their head and spirit are already answering the question. So they are very clever. So if you can't get the question out, they probably already know what you thought. Like you're saying, Andrew, you stumble a little bit, they already know what you're going to say.
Yeah.
Because it's a lot clearer in your head than it is when you try and speak it, isn't it?
No,
I lost that. That's a really good question, but and it comes out completely wrong. You think, well, that's not what I was going to ask, but that'll do. But they've already heard it in your head, so they already know the answer. Oh, that's good. I've got a yes then. So then the question didn't really make sense.
Yeah, nobody else knows what you asked, but
yeah. And you do see that around the human pendulum, didn't you? Where the person in the middle moves and yet nobody's asked a question. So somebody thought of a question, think, oh, I don't like to call the question out just in case I sound silly.
Yeah.
You're never going to sound silly no matter what you asked. The spirit there because, they want to talk to you. They want to feel your energy and they want to communicate. That's why we go about doing what we're doing. So, don't be afraid to ask out, even if it comes out all gobbledygook.
Yeah.
You know the question, they know the answer. And you might get the answer back in your head, think, oh, I was going to ask that question. I've already got the answer to that.
Yeah.
They can do it, can't they?
Oh, yeah,
Can
definitely.
answer your thoughts.
Yeah, thoughts.
Thoughts are energy. And we proved that one day on here when we did the meter across your head, where you get your brain activity, because when you're thinking of something, your brain's full of electrical waves, so the energy increases.
Yeah.
And we proved it with a meter. Okay, it was a very rough experiment, but it actually showed the intense electrical activity in your brain. And then when you thought of something soothing, the voltage came back down again.
Yeah.
And it's quite sad doing that in a workshop, really. But when you show people and they go, "Oh wow, I've never seen that before," I think, and you don't, do you? Because you think, "Oh, it's your brain; it's just thoughts." But thoughts are energy.
Very powerful, yeah.
And they say, "Put your thoughts out to the universe," don't they?
Yep.
Yeah,
that's why intention is like the most powerful thing, really. Intention and how strong you feel about it.
Yeah. And you put it out there and ask the universe to help you with this or do that, or, I want a red car. And like Jen used to say, you say it 3 times every night you go to bed. And I thought, I'd really like a red motorbike. We never could afford a red motorbike. I thought, well, I'll give it a try. It's always worth a try, isn't it? You might have a go. And I did it probably for over a year or so, thinking, nothing's ever coming. And then blown me down, I bought a red motorbike. It appeared. So it does work, believe me. It may not happen straight away, but like you say, the intention, you put the intention out there, they will answer. They will come back to you with the answer. So if you're not sure, you should say to spirit, show me what I need to do. Tell me what I need to do. Where do I need to be? And throw that intention into the universe and you will get the answer. Whether it's through thought, whether you, like Jen said, always look out when spirit are giving messages for recurring numbers, 111, 333, or you hear, or you see a robin, a robin in your garden. That's always very spiritual, a robin. And I always say, when I see one here, we get quite a lot here, I say, hi, Robin, what's your message? Because they say it's a message from spirit in the robin. So, all of that type of stuff. So it's like setting your intention and waiting for the message to come back, because it will come back. They will answer it. And you have to be aware or open to the communication coming back. It's not always in a big sign on the side of a bus saying, right, you thought of this and here's your answer.
Yeah.
The answer is there. It will come when the right time's there. Whether it's repetitive numbers, people see a white feather, don't they? If a feather comes down, again, another spiritual message, the angels, so it's always worth sending your intentions out. And I try and do it before I go on a paranormal investigation. I ask them up there, "Can you please make it a great night, that everybody goes there safely and goes home safely, and that we all have a great night."
Yeah.
I'll always do that, because obviously then everybody's safe and everybody gets home safe and everybody's had a great night. And
Yeah.
and believe me, it does work. Believe it or not.
Mhm.
I'm sure. Right, we've done an hour. Blooming hell. We thought it was going to be short. So hope you enjoyed the subject. Is there any other
No more.
anything on there?
No.
No, everybody's gone with the intention. So big thank you, Andy, and all the comments coming through. We really appreciate his following us and watching the stream and your comments. And hi, Graham. Yeah, go Graham in the rain. Let us know how wet you get and if the activity's any better.
Yeah.
So good old Graham, he will try that. I know he will. So I hope you enjoyed tonight. It was a bit of a different one with the weather and how it affects the investigations or affects yourself or affects the building. Is the building waterlogged? Does that affect an investigation? Make it better? Some people say, water coming down makes more energy, which makes sense because spirit use water to move around, and your ley lines are full of water, and so it does make sense. So I hope you enjoyed this tonight, myself and Angela. If you have any subjects, please send them in. We'll try and chat about them. Or what was you going to ask, Angela? I'm just going to have a quick drink because I've got a tickle coming.
I don't think I was going to ask anything then. Oh no, I was going to ask. Oh, sorry. Yeah, if anyone wants to come on the panel and be part of our nice little team, then just send us a message and we'll look into it and see what we can do.
Absolutely. Come on and join us. Join us on the panel. We've been doing this long enough now, and you all know who we are and what we are. And we'll talk about anything, cryptids, UFOs, any subject. We've had guest speakers on here, past life regression. I'm hoping to get a lady to come on and talk about haunted dolls, which is quite a subject for some people. Say, "Oh yeah, I love the dolls." Some people say, "Well, no, not a chance." Not a chance of our going in a room with dolls. And yet some people love them because of the communication they get from them. And this lady I chat to, she gets some really great communication for her dolls. Incredible. She records it all as well. So hopefully I can get her on and she can send us some footage and we can actually show you the communication. So it's brilliant. But she's very anxious, so you have to be gentle with her. But I'll speak to her during the week, try and get her on. So it remains me to say thank you for tuning in tonight.
Yeah,
thank you. It's a great comments there. Thank you, Angela, again for doing that. There's some great comments come through, and we're really pleased that you joined in. You enjoyed it. It's a great subject, a different subject. So if you want us to talk about something different, please send the comments in, and we'll get back to you. And if you do, like Angela said, want to join the panel, have a chat with us, and put your points over on the panel, you're more than welcome to join us. So we're great, and we have fun, and we enjoy it. And if you want to come on and be part of that, that's perfectly fine with us. So if we don't see you in the week, which hopefully we won't, no investigations this weekend. Are you out about, Angela, this weekend?
No, I don't think so.
So,
not till the end of the month.
Yeah, so if we're not out on investigation, please comment in if you're out on one at the weekend. Let us know how you get on, and we can plug your team and put your names up on here. Let us know how you get on, because we're honest, and we'll plug you, we'll promote you, whatever you want to do. So thanks, Alan. Thanks for tuning in. Appreciate that. So it only remains me to say good night and have a safe week, everybody. And we'll see you next Monday. Take care. Bye.